See that it's live. See that it's live. All right, it is up.
Thank you.
Thanks, Andrew.
Of course.
All right, let's call the special park board meeting to order. Do I have a second?
Yep.
Thank you very much, Mr. Eplin. Let's have a quick roll call of all the members. This is Glenn Rice.
Jeff
Senna?
Upland.
Asina Beck.
Sorry. Mr. Eplin?
Present.
Amy?
Present.
Great. All right. Can we approve the agenda for the park board meeting today, which is on your screens? Need a second?
I'll second.
Thanks, Asina. All right, I'd like to welcome any community members and guests that are here. And we're going to go ahead and have the park director, Mr. Kyle Bennett, walk us through the items about the renovation project.
Okay, for the most part, did everybody get the email first off that I sent about the meeting with Baron Becker and the mayor?
Yes.
Everybody read through those notes, okay. Just to kind of give you just a real quick little synopsis of what I said to you is that they weren't in favor of the amphitheater for what we were getting out of it. They didn't think it would be big enough venue for the kind of bands and the kind of things that they wanted to do in that area.
Can I don't mean to
So they
interrupt.
thought that would be a place that we might be able to save some money if the bids came in high.
Hey,
Kyle.
Kyle, hold on.
Sure.
I have a question. When you say they,
Sure.
who's they? Because when I was reading through this, I was kind of shocked. Like, wow, these are a lot of changes kind of late in the game when we've all met about this and walked the park numerous times. So I guess kind of coming into this is like, who's they? Who are the ones?
Again, with the meeting was with Baron Becker and with the mayor. Andrew was also present at that meeting, and of course me. Again, bang for the buck. They didn't think that area would be big enough for. Again, I'm gonna. Do you guys remember when we hosted the band in the parking lot of our current park at General Ormsby? They didn't think that the people would be able to utilize that enough to where we're probably only going to utilize it for 3 or 4 times a year. The mayor thought that it might be more cost effective to put that farther up near the playground, near the parking lot. I mean, that's basically that whole thing. And again, I've kind of highlighted on the screen for you guys the area that I'm talking about from that concept design is the area that we've kind of moved this area. If you guys see my cursor, and to do something smaller up here, stage area up here by the playground, to the right of the playground, which would be right around in this area.
Kyle, we're not seeing,
Yes, sir.
we're seeing the agenda. We're not seeing, if you got another thing up, we're not seeing that.
Oh, my bad. Okay, my bad. I hit the wrong share button. Here. I'm sorry, guys. Been doing this too long now. Now, can you
Don't
guys
worry.
see this? The area that they're talking about here.
Hang on
Huh?
one second. It's not showing yet, Kyle.
Okay.
There we go. All right.
Okay. What he's talking about again was this area. Please.
Go ahead.
Is it coming up?
Yes.
Okay. This area here, they wanted to move, as I said in that email, to this area here to the right of the playground. If you guys can see the screen now. And to do something up here to where you could use the entire parking lot. Kids could be in the playground and so forth. So again, that was one thing. And again, this was the mayor saying this. I mean, it's not something that we have to. If we like this design, which we've talked about, I mean, again, it's our bid, and he'll be the first to tell you that. But again, him looking at it and thinking of the cost and how much we're going to use it and utilize it, he didn't think there was enough bang for its buck. So again, I'm passing on that information to you guys.
Can we just
So
talk about
that's
that?
number one.
Yeah, can we just talk
Sure.
about the amphitheater for a minute? I mean, I'm curious to
Mhm.
know what other people's thoughts were, because I feel like this is a major change very late in the game when we hoped this would already have been out to bid. I don't know what, Jeff, were you at that meeting, or do you have any insight or thoughts on this?
I wasn't at that meeting. I think it's extremely disappointing. I know that this wasn't even a concept that we even thought about at the onset of this whole project. And then I think Kyle threw it out, and it kind of became the piece that we all really liked and were excited for. So I would not be excited to see that part of it leave the bid.
And I would like to just point out, I think it's really more Bear and Beck kind of pointed it out to me, saying, hey, you got this big gradual grading, natural grading. Is this something you guys might be interested in? But I mean, it was early. I'm not going to sit here and lie. It was after the first time that we did a concept map. I mean, that was part of it.
I just think the whole thing is neat. We don't
Again,
have
guys, I'm just sharing information that we
don't
had
have
at that
a
meeting.
fence on
That's why I
the
wanted to do a special meeting.
I mean, my thoughts about moving it and using the parking lot, then where are people going to park?
Drees
Mentioned at the meeting was Drees.
Kyle, we don't have a fence on the baseball field, right?
Not an outfield fence, no, sir.
Yeah. So I don't. And the comment was that it wasn't a big enough usable space. I mean, when you got an event
For which one, I apologize.
What's that?
This area here is kind of again, if you guys can see where my cursor is here to the left of the pavilion, this area here is kind of a low area. So it's going to catch a lot of water. I mean, and it's going to be run off, but it's going to be kind of watery more. So again, that was kind of a low spot. Mm-hmm. So again, that was one of the things that maybe we couldn't use this area. We can use the hillsides here. And again, that was what we talked about before with blankets and stuff like that. But again, the number of people that could be down here in the actual seating area is between, I want to say it was 40 to 60 people. Okay. And again, they didn't think that would be, again, the group that was there did not feel that would be a big enough bang for our buck of 4 or 5, 3 or 4 or 5, 6 events that the rec department might run with that. Again, guys, I'm just sharing you guys information. I'm just a guy giving you the information that was at that meeting. That's why I shared it with y'all.
Right. So where your baseball field's the lighter shaded green, Kyle, right?
Yes, sir.
And then so that area between center field and then the amphitheater area, you're saying that's kind of like a hill going down and then back up?
Well, it's where this hillside, this grading comes to an end. So the water's going to run off going towards the hillside here, if that makes sense, to the northern side on the picture. So it'll run off, but it's going to be a low area. So it could be a wetter area is all I was trying to point out.
Right.
That'll be like a runoff area for all this hillside.
We're going to put the stage area?
Well, that would be, the stage area would be right here next to it. The little pad that we had designed for it would be right here. So the part next to it would all be the lower area.
So like you said, there's still a lot of area around where there's not natural seating, where that 40 to 60 can get easily to 150 based on, what I'm seeing on this drawing. I wouldn't be so quick to take it out of the bid.
Okay.
Just one man's opinion.
Oh, I agree with you, Jeff. That's where I'm at. I mean, I've been on the park board after the initial rendering, but maybe for almost 2 years now, and that amphitheater was always there in every version that I've seen.
Oh, Glenn, what's your thoughts? Amy, what's your thoughts?
What?
So I guess my one question is, would we, so the idea for the amphitheater was we kind of use the natural, the hillside, the sort of the natural grade on the hill to, for seating and visual lines and everything. And I always really liked it. I don't disagree with any, Sina or Jeff on that. I guess my question is, when you go back to the parking lot, would there be more of a stage there? I mean, I guess I didn't quite understand what it really wouldn't be a replacement, because it's not, it's not quite the hill that you have baseball field.
Yes, let me show you a couple of renderings that Bear and Becker did of the playground. I kind of just emailed it to you guys. I got this earlier today, but let me stop sharing that. Let me show you this.
And before it comes up, the other question I have is, if the number was the issue, is there a way of making that pavilion area a little bit bigger, or not? The pavilion area a little bit bigger, kind of extending the seating around a little bit further, so you could add a few more, add another 20 or so people to it, or 30 people. I don't know what the number they're looking for, but is there a way to make it a little bit larger?
Yeah, let me
a bigger semicircle, essentially.
Let me share this. And again, this was one of the things that, tell me when this new screen comes up, guys, and I'll start talking.
Got it.
Okay, this is one of there's two actually on here, two designs by Bear and Becker. They came up with again, here's our pavilion area up here. You see where my cursor is? Here's our pavilion right here. And this is the actual playground. And you see how they got it kind of marked off: play area 1, B, C, and D. So again, there'd be 4 different play areas that we could have within the playground. And also saving, one of the things, if you guys remember on that email, was to save space between the actual pavilion and the actual playground start. They don't want that to be really, they don't want it to be grass. They don't want it to be mulch. They kind of want it to be concrete or play structure of some sort, some kind of surfacing through between the two, right through here. Okay, so that's why they came up with these different areas. So this is part of that. But if you look over here, this is the area that, again, would be a small little theater here where you could have a band and you could have more people. But again, this was one of their ideas of the area to the left of the parking lot when you pull in, that you could put a little amphitheater seating area, maybe for like Madcap Puppets. And on the back side of that, the stage area to where you could do bigger things, bigger venue while utilizing this parking area for your actual crowd for events, and also the pavilion over here for events. But that was their answer to, if we didn't have an amphitheater by the baseball field, that was one of their answers, if that makes sense. And again, that's just one of them. And if you guys look, this is the other one. This is a second little design. Again, different play areas within the play area, different playgrounds, different players in the playground. You've got some stepping stones around this area here, the stage being here, and again, the big stage with the seating here. The stage could be used for bigger bands through this area here, or for a small little Madcap Puppet here. So again, that's that stage area. Again, getting rid of it on the baseball field and moving it up to this area that, for the most part was not being used, because we're not putting a maintenance building or something up here.
What kind of barriers would be between the playground and that stage area? Because in my mind, I'm picturing kids spilling out, climbing up those rocks.
Yeah, this is the kind of stuff. I'm going to go here to can you still see? These are some of the areas and designs that they had looked at, different things that they're looking at. Also, things like this. on the right here. These are the kind of things, again, these are bigger, of course, but this is kind of the amphitheater seating, if you can see it here, possibly, what kind of structure we're looking at. But there are different areas and different designs they put with this type of design. Again, we would do this design bid for the playground, and all we would say is, this is how much money we have to spend. These are the different structures that we want to see, and then they would come up with the actual design. But again, just kind of sharing this information with you guys to just to get it out there. Again, that changes, you know, the concept of the park concept that we have. I mean, it changes it. But again, I just wanted to show those to you guys that's where they wanted to put the stage area, Glenn. That was your question. But it would be up in this area here to the left of the parking lot when you pull in. And again, that would be part of the site work. Of course, that has to be part of the site work. I mean, it cannot be part of the playground. I mean, that would be part of the site work, which the site work and the pavilion would be the two things we want to build first. This playground thing, we've got time to do that. That's not a big deal right now. But we do have to move on the site work of what we want to do. The site work and the pavilion are two of the things that we want to put out as soon as we can. And again, it's in, you know, it's what you guys want to do. I mean, if that amphitheater is something that you guys want, I say we go with it. If that's what you guys want, as long as you think that we can make sure we can use it properly. I mean, this is again, I mean, it comes down to you're given this directive by the city council and by city administration to decide what you think is in the best interest. You've heard people's take. I mean, again, it comes down to what you guys think is you guys want. So these were concerns that were brought up in that meeting, and I wanted to share it with you guys. That's all I'm trying to do.
Kyle, did you leave that meeting is the understanding? I mean, because it's went so far as Bayer and Becker's has done new drawings. So, I mean, is this Bayer and Becker's understanding of what the new bid is going to be? Or
no. This is. I asked them. No offense, guys. I asked them to come up with an idea for the playground, some basic stuff that we could look at, and I wanted something in the stage area so you guys could see what they were talking about if we did move it. That was it. I mean, this is just I mean, you can tell it's a very basic little design draw. This is nothing cement whatsoever. Again, it's just an idea to show you guys a visual of what I was talking about. And I wanted to be able to show you guys. And this is something that we could do. It's something we could easily do what the big concept design said. And it's up to you guys, whatever you guys want to do. And again, guys, the reason I want to do this special meeting was to get this information discussed. I mean, we don't have to decide tonight, but the reason I didn't want to wait till our March the 2nd meeting was, again, that's another 2 weeks. Our March 2nd meeting, we need to be finalized. We need to say, this is what we want, and we need to take it to Bayer and Becker, and we need to go and get it out to bid. But tonight is just an idea of sharing information with you until we get it. And Bayer and Becker will be on board and with our Zoom meeting or in person, whatever we can do in March. They'll be here to answer your questions about, you know, different things on that March 2nd meeting. But that March 2nd meeting, we really do need to have an idea of, you know, a finalized thing of what we want to do. If it's this, great. If it's the basic concept, again, I'm fine with that too.
Why did they have the stage in that location? I'm just curious.
Which one, ma'am? I apologize.
That's okay. The one you just had up, the new rendering where they had the stage closer. Yes. Do you know why
the only reason they put it up here was A, space. There was area for it, and okay. B was that they liked when they had that band come up and people milled around in the parking lot area. That's where most of the people were. And this area is more central located to the parking where people could be, the playground, pavilion. Basically, that is why. Open area.
I'm just wondering if the stage would make more sense, the actual stage, to be in a different location. If we did move it there, the actual stage where the red star is, to put it somewhere not between where people would be sitting and the kids would be playing. If we moved it there, to move it to like that bottom corner here or somewhere else. Yeah, right there.
Down here?
Mm-hmm.
So I had a similar thought, but instead of putting it there, if you flip the whole thing around and put the stage at the edge of the parking lot, where like formal amphitheater seating is written, you flipped it around there, then you could actually use one side for seating for your Madcap Puppets or your smaller events, and then you'd also could turn it around and have a band play out to that parking lot.
I'm pretty
Right.
sure, Glenn, what you just said is kind of what we talked about in the meeting actually, was that you could have one big area that could accommodate both the smaller Madcap Puppet kind of things with a smaller audience and a bigger one. Again, these don't.
But if the
look as
stage is where it
really
is now, I'm sorry. If the
No,
stage
that's
is
fine.
where it is now,
right.
you've got a lot of space between there. Whereas if you flip the stage and the, where the where the text is, then you've got sort of two sides. And that'd be
Right
the
now.
one thing. I still, part of me really likes the
Like the second one kind of has that, if that makes sense. Stage here, little area here. I don't know if you see-
And that was
That's
just a
the-
question. I'm not saying, I'm
No,
kind of
no,
obviously
I
joining late in the
agree.
game.
And
So
the
I'm
only-
just asking why that was there.
And also, I would like to point out one thing, and I can't answer to this. They might have done it this way also, Glenn, just because of the grading. I don't know off the top of my head. I think it's pretty well flat till it leads to this drop off.
I was actually thinking that's a pretty flat area.
Yeah,
Not
but,
real-
but I mean,
you
I'm
won't
not.
get the same.
I'm not
Just to go
positive.
to Asina's point, you really won't get the same feel of being kind of cut into a hillside.
Right.
And that's sort of the one thing I thought would be kind of cool. It's sort of like, if you go down to like Dayton's football stadium or soccer field, it's kind of cut into the hillside there. And
Oh,
it's
yeah.
kind of cool because,
Oh,
they sort of made use of the natural hillside there for seating. And I've always sort of pictured that area as, something similar to Dayton's field.
And it
Dayton High
seems a little more private. I feel like
Yeah,
that would seem a little,
exactly.
I want to make one comment real quick. When they did the concert with the Beatles or whoever the heck that group was called, they had the stage closer to the driveway where the old house used to be. So it was on that far end. So
I just switched it over. If you guys can see,
yeah,
it was over this area, if it makes sense.
correct. Yeah.
Yeah, but again, it wouldn't be that far over
Yeah.
because that's not the parking lot now. But that makes
Sure.
sense. This is the area we're talking about.
Yeah, but me personally, I'm in agreement with you all, even though I don't have a say in this thing, is I would rather have the amphitheater down by the hillside personally, but I don't have a say in it. So
Yeah, I guess to put my official opinion on the record, I think I like it where it's at. It's very late, I think, to consider changing it when we've never talked about that before. And that's been one of the things that people have always liked. Moving it up it makes things crowded up by the parking lot. And I don't like the idea of having to rely on a private entity for parking for our residents to host something at the park.
Okay.
So
Very well said.
if we would vote, my vote would be to keep the amphitheater where it is.
Jeff, I know your answer. Glenn, Amy, what your thoughts just real quick that I can take back to Bear and Becker? I mean,
I would agree with that. I think the point of an amphitheater is to be an amphitheater. So if that's what was decided by the park board, then that's what I think that we should do.
okay.
I feel like that's an amphitheater. What you have now in the drawings is what an amphitheater is.
If you guys want, I could easily ask, maybe we could, and again, can you see my screen? I don't know if I have a bad connection. or
Yeah,
not.
we did.
Okay, maybe this area here, we might be able to extend these layers, if that makes sense, to make it a little bit of a bigger area down here on the hillside. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Yes.
Maybe we extend those than what we have. Maybe we can add another 40 more seating kind of things here. I can find out. but I gotta, I get this, I'm taking from this is that you guys are in agreement that this is something you guys want to try and keep, correct? Am I okay to say that?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, and I'm not trying to, I want to get to some, couple other things. I know we're losing Jeff, so I wanted to kind of get to a couple other things.
I'm sorry. I'm going to ask
ahead.
one more
Okay.
question, right, with apologies to everybody else. But is it, I do, I actually agree that we should keep the amphitheater there. I like the idea of extending it to accommodate a few more folks. I think that helps us. I do, the idea of kind of a stage up by that parking lot is pretty cool to me. I think, if you wanted to do sort of an adult band or even a kids band where you use that more as a standing area or seating area, particularly post pandemic, I do think it's pretty cool. But you could actually, people rent stages, right, and bring them in and put them at the edges of parking lots and stuff like that all the time, right? That's something we can still do. Because I actually do think it's kind of a neat idea and something that would be fun potentially for folks to do. So, we could still accommodate that by not putting a tree in the center there, for example. And, people's kids could play on the playground and they could go listen to a concert without too big of a stretch. Does that make sense?
I think that's, you could easily rent risers of any kind, any
Yeah.
kind of use. Or make and keep them and store them somewhere. The stage area is pretty easy to do. We've done it at our complex a lot. We actually have them.
Okay.
Again, okay, that's one. The second thing, guys, and I'm not trying to, I just want to make sure Jeff can hear on this. The baseball field, discussion about the baseball field came up. The discussion was that with our dimensions possibly being closer to 200, again, this right here is about 185 right through here. So the other 200 would be a little further out. We talked about the reorientation of the baseball field to help with the drainage of the water area when the water comes down through this area, okay? It will be excavated to where it's going to come out and again go this way and flow over the hill. But one of the things that was mentioned was that for the most part, might just be a practice field, not field, excuse me. And because of that, we were spending maybe we were looking at spending too much money on the dugouts here, which one was bigger because of storage. We'd be able to put our storage stuff down here. And again, that was mentioned that maybe we go back with, and I put in those emails to you guys, maybe a fenced up type dugout instead of a concrete dugout, prefab dugout that we had in our last bid. I want to say maybe the two buildings together were like 35,000. I'm not positive off the top of my head, but that was mentioned. That again, if this is going to be a practice field, do we really want to spend that much money on dugouts? So again, I wanted to bring that up to you guys to discuss before we put that in the final bid. So your all's thoughts?
Kyle, what would that do for you from a storage standpoint?
Personally speaking, it kind of hurts because the pavilion, we kind of wanted to kind of start getting away from storing stuff up there. Right now we have the garage, which helps tremendously. Remember, we're losing the garage up here. The 2-bay garage we have is gone. And the negative is, we keep our MVP and our quick dry, rapid dry and stuff between these two buildings now. So that is one thing that was nice to have it down here, this end of the dugout down here. My apologies. Yep. The end of the dugout down here was going to be my storage for MVP for coaches to get into and stuff like that right there. So again, it would change what we were doing. Would we be able to do it? Yes. But we could do it. Yes, we could do it. But it would change the way that instead of buying in bulk like we do now, we would buy maybe per week or run up the day before or something to have it to where we know we're going to have to use it. Does that make sense? We wouldn't buy 25 bags and keep it until we need 25 more bags. Does that make sense, Jeff?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. And I think the the fence dugouts are perfectly fine and nice. I don't think you need anything fancy down there. Can we get a little bit of a storage shed down there? On the end of one of
I
those?
would think yes. My only concern, Jeff, would be vandalism. If it's not a nice thing, like, I think of a little shed and I worry about people writing on it and stuff like that. But they could do it to a dugout too. Let's not lie. So I mean, yeah, I'm 100% sure we could easily have plenty of space all through here that we could put something down there if I needed to put a shed, an 8x8, 8x10. No offense, that'll be bigger than anything I've got now. But that's something we could add at a later date. So coaches could have a key to the master lock to that thing to get in there to get whatever they need, whether they want to line the field or whatever. So yes, I'm 100% sure that's something we could add, and that's very inexpensive. You know that.
I see no issue going to the fence.
The only thing is, I would say that we would probably won't put it on a concrete base. I mean, I wouldn't want it on a.
Right.
I would want that to have some kind of base on it. That makes sense. You don't want it. You don't want it just be soil. But other than that, yes, I have no issue.
Yep. I'm fine with that change, Kyle.
And did you guys get the pictures and the emails I sent? Just ideas of different fence-like dugouts with the little roofing on it.
Yep.
Is everybody okay if we downgraded those dugouts to an idea like that?
Yeah.
Asina, do you have an opinion? Amy?
No, I'd be
somebody?
fine with that.
That's fine with me.
Glenn, you have thoughts?
No, I really was kind of deferring that part of it to Jeff, to be honest. I know he's a little bit more of
why I
a
wanted to check.
background than I have, so I would go with his thoughts.
Okay. All right, then the next one, guys. One of the things, and this is not something we need to discuss. We had talked about the new signage on the actual entrance to the playground and stuff. I mean, we have talked about there's a little area for a sign and stuff right here or right down here, but we never really voted on it. What I would like to do is to make sure that we put in the bid some kind of a new fence for it, or a new sign for the park itself. And again, it's just something that we had budgeted for, but we did not actually have. We had an area for it, rephrase, but I'm going to go with Platt, who's doing the pavilion, and we'll come up with a quick little design, General Orange Metro Park. And they also talk about possibly doing something on the back of the building itself too, that's facing, saying General Orange Metro Park on it. So again, that's something that I don't think anybody has a problem with us doing that, right? A new sign for it, all that new look place. Let's make sure we have a nice sign entrance.
I agree.
No, I don't have a problem with that. Yeah,
Everybody
I thought
okay?
it was in there. Maybe so, definitely.
I hate to. I'm gonna take one for the team. I agree. I knew there was a space for it. I actually thought we had a new sign in it, but it does not. We looked at the last design bid and it does not. So that's something we're gonna add. Fencing or some kind of landscaping around the playground area. Again, the mayor doesn't like the idea, and I agree. Baron Becker mentioned about people walking straight up with cleats on and stuff straight into the playground. We are squaring this off. Remember, right here, the playground is being squared off. It goes back to, if you guys wait a second. We're going to have some kind of, did the playground come up here, guys? Just tell me when it switches.
Yes,
over.
it's up.
Okay. You notice like this has rock leading off. So again, kids can't just go straight from the playground and run into this area here. It's all going to be entrance in from the playground. It'll be from the pavilion into the playground, not from the parking lot. I believe Amy's the one that mentioned that last time, or I think it was Amy mentioned about not having people go straight from the playground straight onto from the parking lot to the playground. So the entryway will be from the pavilion coming in with this walkway through here. And again, notice that this has landscape trees and stuff around the actual playground itself. To again keep kids in for the most part, okay, and that's one of them. And the other one, the same way, you have the rock structure / this right here, that would be leading around. So again, it would keep kids for the most part in the playground area, with the parents can hang out here in the pavilion and watch their kids without them getting out. I like the stuff that's inside without the fencing, the natural stuff, but again, just throwing some different ideas out to you guys to keep kids in. Is everybody okay with this type of ideas?
Yeah, I thought that's what we had decided on and
Yeah, we
talked
did.
about last
We
time.
did the last
so.
time. Yeah, I was making sure. I just, it wasn't, and that was from the last bid, which wasn't updated with that change. But yeah, as long as you guys are good with that kind of grading and stuff, I think we're absolutely wonderful. And then the last kind of thing just to talk about is this area right here is the part that the mayor really had, and Bear Becker agreed. This is one of the areas that we needed to address. This green space right here, because you guys know as well as I do, if you have a little entrance from the pavilion, this green space is going to be mud. I mean, when we put mulch in it, it's going to go everywhere else too. You can't put gravel or rock because again, people will throw it. So all their ideas, for the most part, again, kind of, put these areas right here that's going to have, we can have different kind of color pavement. We can have different kind of concrete. We could put this as a play surface area coming out of the pavilion to where that's going to be the main access point, as it's highlighted right here. It'll be one of the main access points leading into the playground. And it will be either, like I said, colored concrete. It could be some kind of, piles. We could have whatever we want coming out of there. So they think we need to clean that area up. And I agree 100%. We were even thinking about putting whatever we put down here, the surfacing, and putting like 3 or 4 family swings like we have right now around this entrance. So parents can sit and watch their kids all through here. But again, it needs to be on some kind of surfacing other than grass, which will become mud, or stay away from mulch and things of that nature. And so both these descriptions, both these designs have that area, again, have something in that area, if that makes sense.
I'm in favor of that, Kyle. I'm in favor of that. I mean, I think that makes a lot of sense to me. I don't know what Asina or Jeff or Amy.
It's high traffic areas that if we don't show the people where they need to go through, the whole thing's open and it becomes worn down areas. And then as soon as that grass dies, it's going to be mud within 2 or 3 weeks and stuff like that. So it's just high walk
I'm
areas.
fine with that. I think.
And the same thing, these trees and things like that, again, leading from the soccer field will again keep people from going that way. They'll have to, for the most part, walk around. So as long as everybody's good with those kind of things.
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay. Anything else you guys can think of? So what I'm going to do is make these changes, and on the 2nd, I'm going to have for you guys to finalize things with the amphitheater still included. Glenn, I might be able to do some kind of an addendum type of thing for the stage area, possibly up here, or some kind of area getting rid of the tree or something in this park area. So maybe we could add something to this later, or something that's mobile enough we could add and take away when we're not using it.
Just some sort of temporary type thing. Yeah, because I wouldn't want to take up parking spaces for it.
Correct.
So the idea of just renting one, to be honest with you, so we wouldn't have to worry about storing it even, is something that I think we could probably, at least could afford pretty easily.
Yeah, and 4 and 6 times a year we could easily rent those out and put those up or whatever we need. What I plan to do on the 2nd, then we will have finalized everything. I'll have Baron Becker on this Zoom call, or if we're allowed by them to meet personally, we'll sit down with the finalized thing, and hopefully by the end of that week.
And Kyle, extending the amphitheater as well.
Yes, I've got that in my notes. Yes, I've got that in my notes.
Extend that as well. That's just one thing I didn't hear you mention. So I just want
we got definitely keep it, and I'll see if we can extend those on those sides already graded, and I'll make those changes and go from there, and hopefully have another idea of the kind of baseball benches that we're going to have and dugouts we'll have. I'll be able to show you guys pictures of what will be in the bid, if that makes sense. What we're bidding out, so you guys can see it. And what I'll actually do, as soon as they send it to me, I'll send it to you so you can have it before the 2nd. So if you have issues, we can make that change before the 2nd. But I like to be able to, that meeting, this is it. This is what we're doing. This is what we're sending to Baron Becker. And I think that's the best way to do it. And they can put it out to bid within a couple days, or let's say a week. Anything else, you guys? That's the whole reason we met today, was kind of just go over this. I did send you this playground design and some stuff that Baron Becker sent. A lot more information in there about the different ideas of the high traffic areas and the different things. So if you guys get a chance to look at that, email me if you have any questions or concerns about any of those things. But probably in the April meeting is when we're going to have to probably start looking, or a meeting middle of March, start looking at the design bid for the playground. Because again, we probably want to put that out to bid, probably within May, June. So that'll be the next thing that we go out and do, the playground itself. But that's all I got.
Kyle, you
Yes,
had
ma'am.
also on the agenda discuss financials from the park fund, and I don't, maybe you just put that on there, but I didn't know if there was something specific.
I'll be honest to say, the reason I put that on there was they said if it's not on the special agenda meeting, we can't talk about it. And if you guys wanted to bring up any kind of thing about money, I wanted to be able to say, oh yeah, that's on our agenda. I didn't want to not have it, if that makes sense. So if you have any, nothing has changed. Nothing at all has changed money wise. I just in case if somebody had an issue with how the money was being spent or how we were raising it, we could discuss it. That's the only reason I put it on there.
Okay.
Anybody have anything else? Glenn, Amy?
I'm good.
Okay, you want to do a first call to close this meeting then?
That's where I was going. Do I
There you go.
wanna end the meeting? I need a second.
I'll second.
Thanks very much.
Okay, I'm
And
going to send you
thanks
guys,
for my-
I'm also going to send you guys notes from tonight, okay? So I'll send it all to you probably tomorrow morning.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Kyle.
Thanks,
guys.
everyone.
Thanks,
Bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks very much.
All righty.